Hello, beautiful friend. Welcome back to another episode. I pray that I find you in a place in your life, whether today or on the weekend, whenever you're listening to this episode. I just pray that the day has just been nothing but blessings for you. If it's been a harder day, I pray that you can just set this time aside for you to just learn things that you need to know to really help propel you and move you forward in the best way, health possible that God has really laid out for you. Thank you so much for joining me. And I know you've probably read the episode title for this and goes, maybe she's talking about me, or maybe she's talking about somebody I know, but I need to hear what this means when I'm trying to do everything right, but the body is resisting these strict routines. I speak about this so much with my patients because it really does become something that we've, in a way, like idolized. Okay. So a lot of us are trying to have or trying to do our health in such a different kind of way, but we don't realize that in this state of trying to control every single variable, we have now really put our body in this box. And I'm going to be real with you. The body was never designed to be in a box. The body was designed to be able to have diversity and flow and movement. And not even in the sense of just exercise, but movement in the idea of what you eat and how you do your daily life and all the pieces that make up that fluid movement. If you just kind of think about how a river can move around rocks, it can move around debris. The body was intended to be able to be fluid and move around different circumstances and seasons and all of the things that make up life. But what we have done as a society over, I would say, even the last 25 years with the creation, and I know they've been around a lot longer, so don't be like, well, Dr. Brooke, but with the creation of computers and office jobs where we get to sit down and we just type on our fingers and we bring our shoulders up to our ears and we curl our neck forward, right? The last 25 years with this beautiful technology where we can connect, where you can be in your town in Illinois or in Maryland or Seattle, Washington, and be hearing me from my home in San Diego, California. How beautiful is technology in that realm? But in the same breath, technology has really shifted how our body has to adapt and refine and do its daily things because it's not used to necessarily having to sit all the time. Or we get in these modes where we are only eating a certain type of food or only doing a certain type of diet or only doing certain types of workouts. Our bodies are meant to be dynamic, not static beings. So if you have a planner, if you are taking all the supplements, if you are doing the workout schedule, the meal prep, and your body still feels off, this episode is for you, my friend, for you, because I was you. I was the girl tracking every little detail and literally driving myself crazy. I want to share with you briefly. Recently, within the last couple months, I read an article on Oprah Daily that was published in September of 2025. So it's fairly new. I know that there's a lot of information coming out because there's like a wave brewing in this realm of wellness culture that is actually starting to recognize it as a toxic wellness culture. And this is something I've been talking about for a long time, something I've been railing against for a long time. Not that I think that taking supplements or working out or doing any of these things to help our health is a negative thing. I think it is amazing and I think it's great, but the obsession, the over optimization, the stress, the fact that we can no longer live our daily lives without doing X, Y, and Z, it puts a lot of pressure on our bodies to respond in a beautiful way. It just feels it goes into like this fight, flight, stuck mode. So that's what I want to talk about because in that article, they talked about one of the ways to get out of this stressful place is learning how to listen to your body. And hello, guys. If you've been listening for any length of time or been a patient of mine over the last 6 years, you know this is something I've spoken so heavily about and speaking so heavily about it even more so as start ramping up and more starts coming out about this, that this wellness culture can turn into toxicity and how to see the signs of that. But really, what we're going to be talking about today is why, when you're doing all these things that are so great for your health, why is your body not responding to that? And that frustration that you're feeling with the amount of effort that you're putting in and the little results that are happening, that's a real thing. Like I said, I was there. I was totally there. I actually felt more sick in my body the more supplements and the more things that I was doing. And as I started to peel back on all of that, I started to feel better and better and clearer thoughts were happening. And I'm like, what was I doing all this time? And so, what I want you to say to yourself right now is this: sometimes my body, 'cause you're going to say this to yourself, sometimes my body resists not because I'm failing, but because I'm forcing. Say that to yourself one more time. Sometimes my body resists not because I'm failing, but because I'm forcing. See, our bodies were never intended to be forced. There's tension with forcing, there's tension when you're metaphorically throwing your body up against a wall. Here's the hidden problem with this rigid culture. This, you got to do it just like you heard on the podcast. You got to do it just like you heard from this doctor or this scientist or this person. All of that information is very valid. I am not discrediting any of that information. But what I want people to do, what I would love you to do as my beautiful listener, is to start actually taking that information and taking it back to your body and asking your body, does it really need all of this supplements? Does it really, really need all of these certain foods that are being asked to be eaten in a certain dietary guideline, right? Sometimes you need to go out of those dietary guidelines. Sometimes your body needs a pomegranate and you need to eat a pomegranate, okay? Like that's what I'm getting at. So health has honestly become so performative based. Like we are working on performance, performance, striving, striving, doing, doing. And our body doesn't work like that. Consistency of all of this turns into control. Can you see that? Can you see how that can happen? Can you see how your routine becomes your identity? That you've checked every single box, you've tracked your aura ring, you've tracked all of your data points, and you're getting the gold star on the chart, getting the teacher's pet award, right? You're doing all of these things. It's not about getting them all done. It's how do you feel? How is your body functioning? So many times we're looking for the perfect labs. We're looking for the perfect pictures, x rays or things like that. We're looking for the perfect results from things. And in this striving for perfection, we actually start turning things sideways and on its head in the wrong way. Okay. Again, that's my story. I wasn't feeling icky in my body. My body was actually working really well, considering the fact that I had been on many, many rounds of antibiotics and eating fast food and junk food. And I am so happy. I am so happy that I don't consume fast food like I did. I'm so happy that I haven't needed antibiotics in the way that I did at those early points in my life. I'm so happy that I don't need migraine prescription drugs, that if I do get a migraine headache, either A, I've gotten to the point where I can ride most of it out, or I can take a over the counter anti-inflammatory to help take the headache pain away and be able to function. Because I changed what kind of input I was putting into my body, but I stopped making it so rigid. Okay. So when I was being so rigid, when I was doing all the supplements and all the meal plans and all the protocols, I actually was putting my body under a lot more stress. And the reason why is rigid structure feels super, super safe to us, right? Like it's something we can check the boxes, especially hello, like an ADHD brain that I don't necessarily want to give a lot of voice to because I don't necessarily think that we need to put these diagnoses on ourselves. But in the same realm, I know my brain loves to check boxes. I know my brain loves to just be like, hit that complete button or check the box. And That's how I was doing my health. I was doing that. But it's threatening to our nervous system. It's threatening to our nervous system. It puts our nervous system at a state of like, what are you doing to me? What is happening here? Oh my gosh, she just ingested 28 different things. Like, how am I going to process all this? Okay, let's send all the messages all the way through. It's not safe to your body when we're operating like this. So the key line here, the key thing I want you to take away is that pressure activates your stress chemistry, even if the habit is healthy. Okay. Remember, I said I felt so sick in my body, more so than when I was taking antibiotics and eating junk food and taking prescription meds for my migraine headache. I was actually feeling more brain fog and less in my body and was starting to like really make some stupid decisions. And I'm talking, okay, when I say stupid decisions, I'm going to like be real with you. At one point, I was putting gas in my car. You know how you have to take the cap off your gas tank and you put the nozzle in? And I literally put the nozzle in and I was filling up my my car. And I got in the car and I started to drive off. Like I know we've seen silly videos or people doing dumb stuff like that, but like, oh my gosh, like thank God nothing horrible happened. I didn't go and rip the entire thing out. I actually caught it in my side mirror that it was still there as I was starting to pull out. And then I obviously got back out of my car and fixed it all. But my goodness, like that was when I was consuming supplements. That is when I was eating like all the protein and doing all the things. I am so about eating healthy food. However, not when it becomes rigid and crazy. Why does our body push back when we are in this state? So, I want to talk about that nervous system, how it starts feeling very unsafe. So, these strict routines equal hyper control. We get very hyper control. With hyper control, what are we activating? We're activating that fight flight system in our body where we no longer have our prefrontal cortex activated, that behavior, emotion, and thought process in our bodies, where rationalization is out the window, where understanding, oh, you got to put the gas nozzle back in the actual pump before driving off your car. That part of your brain is off, right? It's actually, you get blood shunted to your arms and to your legs because you have a tiger that's chasing you and you have to run. So your body is in survival mode, not in actual thriving mode. What does it do to your blood sugar and cortisol? Overtraining, maybe you're under eating or you're not having rest days because you're so obsessive. You got to get to the gym 2 times a week and you got to do this. Your body perceives that as scarcity or a threat. It's like, whoa, what is she doing to me? And then there's no diversity in the workout. And I say this a lot because some people go, okay, well, leg day's Monday, arm day, Tuesday, back day, Wednesday. And so there's diversity, but then if you're doing all of that week after week after week, are you in a diverse schedule of workouts or are you in the same cycle? You're in the same cycle. Sure, you're targeting different areas of your body with that, but you are in the same dang cycle. And I mean that in the most loving kind of way. So just recognize those kind of behaviors. When I'm saying diversity, even in like working out, I'm talking about you going to the gym and maybe like working out your arms like one day, and then Tuesday, maybe going for a walk, and then maybe Wednesday coming back to the gym and working your legs and your glutes, getting a rhythm that like works for you, actually consulting your body and asking it, hey, what is going to be the best for you this week and how can I support you? Especially ladies, for those of you who still have your menstrual cycle, myself included, we have to really consider our bodies on a week to week basis and where we are and support it in that way. I feel, and I'm not bragging when I say this, but I feel the healthiest I've ever felt in my body at 41 years old than I've ever felt in my entire life doing what I'm doing for my body on a daily basis, whether that's what I'm eating, whether that's the supplements or the very little supplements, I should say, that I'm taking and the different type of workouts that I'm doing for my body weight exercises, walking, shifting it up a bit, and it's been so beautiful. But coming back to these different things that why the body pushes back, right? And another one is the emotional layer. The emotional layer is this perfectionism, this I got to get it right. I should be able to handle this. If I'm not handling it, I'm failing this high achiever wiring. I have it all. I have it all. I have every single piece of this, and it will drive you bananas, and it's actually more harmful to you in all of that. What about the spiritual layer? This trust versus control. You're living in self reliance rather than alignment. You are saying, I know better than the actual creator of this beautiful, incredible masterpiece that my soul lives inside of. I know better than he. And so I'm going to do all these things. No, no, no. We need to believe and know, carry this belief and knowing that your body is a self healing, self regulating, and self organizing masterpiece. It will do everything it needs to do with all the resources it's given to do. And so sometimes that's why it's crying out for a pomegranate because it needs some resources from that pomegranate. Even though you might be on the carnivore diet and you're like, oh, heck no, I am vilifying that pomegranate because it is not part of my thing. You are dishonoring your body in that process. So let's reframe this. Healthy habits, your healthy habits are not the problem. Like I've mentioned, the rigid attachment is the problem. So we have a habit as proof, we have a habit as control, we have habit as punishment, proof, control, and punishment. Is that what we're looking for? No, we're looking for support, rhythm, and alignment. We're looking for a habit as support. We're looking at a habit as rhythm, and we're looking at a habit as alignment. So, structure, having a good flow and structure should stabilize you, but not suffocate you, not cover everything. I can't breathe, right? Breaking this down. So, breaking this down into the Body OS framework, which is pause, connect, ask, and adjust. And through those four pillars, what you're going to do is you're going to pause before changing anything in your plan, before you pick up your pen to track anything. I want you to take a deep breath in, just ground yourself 4 seconds in, 7-second hold, 8 seconds out for a couple reps. And then I want you to ask, does this routine feel supportive or does it feel super heavy? And allow your body to just give you sensations. You may feel those sensations in different parts of your body. Working with different people, they feel it in different areas. But give yourself a second to just really connect with that. If you don't feel like you're getting any sort of response from your body in this moment, like whether it's supportive or heavy, or when you're ready to do the thing, I want you to just go more towards the supportive. So maybe let's say you were about to go to the gym for 45 minutes. Let's cut it back to like 40 minutes. Let's cut it back to 30 minutes. Let's do something that might be a little bit lighter than what you have been doing because you've been push, 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 push. What we're going to do is we're going to take a step back and start slowing down a little bit. If you feel like you've been really like, I can't get this idea of a nectarine out of my head and I just been thinking about it, but I can't stop not wanting it, eat it, okay? That's what you're gonna do in this connect. I want you to ask questions. Am I energized or am I depleted? Do I feel energized after I take all of these supplements or do I feel depleted? Am I doing all this stuff from a state of fear? Because if I don't do it, then my body's gonna fall apart. Because I just want to make it very, very clear your body is not going to fall apart with you stopping taking 28 different supplements. I can attest to that. I can attest to the fact that my body did not fall apart. There might be certain supplements in your routine that your body does need. And you might find that out as you pull off a lot of them. And then you go back and go, yeah, you know what? Maybe I really did need some of that magnesium or that omega 3. But again, this is about building a relationship with your body and really starting to honor it and not trying to like force it and hack it to do what you need it to do. Does this fit my season? Does this fit my week? Does this fit where I am in my cycle? Start thinking about those kind of questions. Ask your body those questions and adjust. I want you to adjust by doing these things. Loosen, no rigidity. I don't want you to abandon. I just want you to loosen. This is not abandoning your whole plan. So I gave the example earlier. You do 45 minutes in your workout. Try a shorter workout. If you're normally restricting a lot of carbohydrates because of whatever meal plan you're on, eat the dang fruit. Have a piece of high quality sourdough bread, okay? It's not going to hurt you. Sometimes your body will respond even better if you listened to the episodes a few times back, I shared a patient story that had a beautiful results after just incorporating a piece of sourdough in her life that she hadn't had in a while. Have a rest day. Maybe come off all of your supplements for a day and allow your body a break from having to metabolize all that. Not just about expensive pee, people. It's about the energy load that your body has to take when it's metabolizing all this stuff through. Go to bed earlier instead of trying to push through and stay up because you feel like you have to. The goal is not discipline at all costs. It's a partnership, having that beautiful understanding of your body. So over the next 7 days with this one, I want you to notice where your routine feels tight. Instead of adding more things, I want you to pull one thing out and I want you to see what happens. So you're not weak if you can't do this, you're not inconsistent, and your body is not sabotaging you. If this is the very first episode that you've heard of mine and you feel like your body is working against you, it is not sabotaging you. It is protecting you. So health isn't built by force. It is built by active listening, and active listening takes time. But that beautiful relationship between you and your body as you build this consistency is going to be like this magical superpower that you feel so like, I can't even believe I didn't activate this so early on in my life. But rest assured, through consistency, it takes time. Thank you so much for listening, friend. I pray that there was lots of value that you can glean from this and that you understand that doing more can actually be harmful for you and less is better. So if this resonated with you or anything I shared here and you heard and you said, oh my gosh, I need to share this with Sally, who's doing all of these crazy, wild things for her health and she's not making any progress or she feels like she's plateaued, send it to her. Send it to her. And know that I do have a body signal decoder to help you work through some body signals if you are experiencing certain things in your body and you're not sure how to make sense of them. That body signal decoder will really help walk you through. That's what those stress signals are telling me. Oh my gosh, that's what that skin problem is saying. And it helps you really start to build this beautiful relationship with your body. On that note, I pray you have a beautiful rest of your week. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.